The best coaches in the game, we really ain't playing. We regroup up in the Slack chat where the coaches debrief. We be piecing these puzzles, occupy the chunk of the pie. Ain't no lie when we hit the block, helmets, casket is hot. You be seeing helmet after helmet, helmet after helmet. First place, second place, fifth place, eighth place, 12th place, 15, 16, 20. So many helmets, you got blurred vision, we got...
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Sway Bar, DFS Army, Nascar Fantasy Breakdown Show. My name is Kevin Allen, a.k.a. The Geek, and I'm here with Auburn Fan 30, our NASCAR GOAT expert, or one of them.
Goated.
Bob. What's up, my man?
Not a lot. Just ready to bink something here.
There we go. We've been crushing NASCAR, and just on the weekly basis, it's just ridiculous. I mean, we got to keep it going. And this is an unusual race, so we decided to kind of bring a podcast out to talk about it, because this one it's just very different from every other race we've seen so far this year. It's the All-Star Race. It's happening at Bristol. It's happening on Wednesday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. It's happening on Wednesday. And one of the parts that makes this thing unique is the starting lineup here, as you can see, is just 16 drivers plus another 4 that will be determined mere moments before the race. So tell me how that happens. How do we get these last 4 drivers, and where are they situated in the starting lineup?
Yeah, so these last 4 drivers, there's going to be an open race before tomorrow's All-Star Race that is going to be consisting of 3 stages. Stage 1 being 35 laps, Stage 2 being 35 laps, Stage 3 being 15 laps. Winner of Stage 1 will be in the All-Star Race, and his car will be removed from that race because there's no more reason for him to race that race. Winner of Stage 2, same thing. Winner of Stage 3, same exact thing. And then the 4th driver to qualify will be like America's vote, per se, of the guys that did not qualify. So anybody else, it's going to be Bubba. 100% it's going to be Bubba.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so that's how you're going to get those 4. They will be starting 17, 18, 19, 20, respectively. So Stage 1 winner is going to be 17, Stage 2 is going to be 18, so on and so forth. Fan vote's going to be the last place guy. Whoever the fan vote is likely going to be pretty chalky. So,
all right. Well, let's consider that, right? If you're starting 20th, I don't care who you are. Like, you can only go up from there. And you're starting with a baseline of about 20 fantasy points on DraftKings anyway. And you can only go up. And you said this is, all right, you can only go up. So as long as you're driving, especially in a carnage race, you're moving forward. There's not a whole lot of place differential here, 1 through 20. How many laps is this race? Or let's check out the Nilly tools. Tell me about the laps in this race and Dominator points, and how many should we be expecting? How important are Dominators here?
Dominators aren't going to be as big. You're still going to need probably 1 or 2, I'm going to guess. See if Nilly's thing has that pulled up right now. Had that pulled up. Now, let me get this pulled up real quick.
Here we go. Yeah, I got it. All right, so we've got 140 laps, 35 laps lead points, 70 fast lap points available.
Yeah, so it looks like Nilly's got 0 to 1 Dominators for DraftKings, and same thing for FanDuel.
Let me ask you this. Yeah, finishing position is much more important. Now, let me ask you this. Is Bristol the kind of a race where the person in the lead is also getting fast laps? Is that
there's a ton of fast laps that are going around here. Oh, yeah, for sure. Kyle Busch gets a ton of fast laps here.
And while he's leading, there are certain laps where you get that clean air, you're getting fast laps. Other tracks, it just doesn't quite work that way. So Bristol's one of those ones where the leader is generally also getting fast laps as he's flying around this very short course.
Yeah, very typically. Only time you see any difference is if somebody like Martin Truex has fresh tires coming out of the pit. They'll have a pretty fast lap after that. I think Truex had like 30-something after his last time and had 0 laps led. So something like that can happen. Most of the time it's going to be, oh, yeah, you better fucking talk about that.
All right. I got the bandana going today. It's like celebrating. See, little DFS Army man on there, little DFS Army guy. Got my camo. Get the shit in your swag
fucking
bag when you
love
win a tournament.
When you win tomorrow. When you win tomorrow.
If you win the tournament tomorrow, you will get one of these bandanas with a little DFS Army man on it. It's worth it. It's worth winning. All right. That's right. I'm sporting the bandana. Little new swag, little swaggies. It's been around for a while. I've worn it once or twice before. Only for special occasions. This is an all-star game. All-star race. All right.
My favorite race at my favorite track. Fucking love it.
There we go. Auburn. That's why you're so excited. Like you're
I'm so excited for this.
bouncing out of your chair, man. All right. So we've got now everybody's like, hey, why don't you have fucking all the drivers in there? What the hell's going on? 20 drivers. You only got 16 on the domination station. You guys fucking suck, right? That's what everybody's saying. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Those last 4 drivers will be determined based on those pregame races. So you had some predictions of who that's going to be. I don't even think it matters. You like Christopher Bell? Or no, Cole Custer, you said, is one of them?
No, Christopher Bell's right.
Bell. All right. You like Bell, so I assume he's a good fast track driver?
He's a good short track driver, yes.
Short track. I say fast track. Short track. Have I been saying fast track? Every track's a fucking fast track.
I don't think you said fast track, but I mean, it has a good ring to it.
Yeah, well, fast track is something else. But he's a good short track driver. Bristol is a half-mile track. So one of the things that happens here is like, if anything happens, this is where the actual carnage comes from. If anything happens to any car here, you just snap your fingers and you're down 3-4 laps. There's no catching up. So chaos is going to be massive here. Chalk is going to be very dangerous here because, again, one spin out and you're 2 laps behind. 3 laps, a flat tire, forget it, 5 laps behind. Like the laps just fly by. It's very, very scary. Now, the other thing that you had mentioned about this track that's very, very important is pit position. Now, explain for me and for the people what the pit position means for this race and how helpful it is to have a good spot.
Yeah. So, okay. Under green flag, cars with pit stalls on that backstretch, so 23 through 43 pit stalls, they're able to come in off of turn 2 and exit on turn 3. So under the green flag, they just have to come in on 2. That's a big thing. You know, it's great to not have to go through the entire pit stall or pit road to get to your stall. So
how much time am I saving if I'm in one of these pit stalls compared to one of these?
You would rather be at the end of the stall, so closer to turn 1 or closer to turn 3. So as you can see, Eric, so how they selected this pit position, okay, is in reverse order of starting order. So since Eric Jones was starting 16th, he's the last starting guy that we know of so far. He got first pick. He took stall number 1. You see number 20 right by turn 1.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the best one. He gets right back on the track right there. Denny Hamlin is starting 15th, so he's above Eric Jones. You'll see that he's 23rd. He's getting right back on the track right there. So that's what pit stalls are important. You don't want to be really buried in this unless you're like the very first one, like Jimmy Johnson is, who got 14th. He chose to take the very first stall in off of 4 to get back out to 1 under green flag. But you don't want to be somebody like Bowman here at the 88, at the 11 spot, right in the middle. You don't want to be, Martin Truex or something like that, like Kevin Harvick here, or Kurt Busch in particular is a bad one because it's just not great to start right off the bat there. But, something like the 77, like the 29 spot's not great. Something like that.
So basically, it's in a lot of traffic in the middle. And in this particular track, it's kind of skinny. It's really small. It's not ideal. And there's like this weirdness where you can enter the pit stall from different areas and exit in different areas. Are any of them shorter? Like, if I'm in like pit stall number 13, right? Do I have to like come in over here and then drive all the way around? Am I like, or it's the same distance, just like a different angle?
No. So, okay. Under green flag. So no cautions, nothing like that. They just need to come in and get fuel or whatever while everybody's racing. Then these guys that are starting on that's 22nd or 1 through 22, this front stretch right in front of the finish line, they'll be able to come in off of 4 and then leave on 1. But if there's a caution, they all have to come in off of 4 and then leave on 3. So they have to go through the entire thing. that make sense?
Yeah. And so it's a lot worse to be over here because you got to go all the way around.
Or wait, I said that wrong. They go down 2 and then go out 1. They come
2.
down 2 and then go out 1.
So
Yep.
better for first guy because he's right in his thing and he doesn't have to deal with all the traffic on the way in.
Yep.
But doesn't he deal with
So
all the
Kurt Busch,
traffic
not
on the way out?
worst spot, but yeah. So you don't really want to be buried in the middle of these pit roads
All right.
with all this
All right,
traffic
that's
coming
fine.
around because it's just a little like horseshoe almost.
I need
these
a
guys are gonna be
picture
coming
of
off
the
the
actual
corners.
track. Hold on. I'm going to pull up a picture of the actual track.
Very
so I
small
can-
track.
What's that?
It's a very small track. So
I need a
small that
picture of
they
the track,
literally
man.
only have pit road in the middle.
I need the real deal. Okay.
Go
This
ahead and
ain't
pull it
working for me. I'm trying to figure this out in my head and it's not working. All right. Let's see what the oh no.
That's
That
not
didn't-
good.
Well, no, you get the Getty image. You don't want that. All right, I've got something here. I don't know what this is, but let's all right, work with me right here on this. Let me take a look here. So turn 1, 2, like where's the pit? What's going on? Is this a good
Pits
picture?
Yeah, so pit's that blue thing at the very end of the track there. The very far end. Now you're going colder. You're getting way colder. You're hotter. Go left a little bit. There you go.
Yeah,
You just
I
hit
don't
it.
like this
That
image
blue
either.
spot right there.
So
So right in
turn
front of where there's
1,
no fan. Yep, right there. And you're exiting there. So yeah, so this is Bristol. It's very hard. See that where the yellow line is? That's where you're leaving. And you're back
Right
on the
here?
track. Yep. It's
Okay,
very
so
confusing.
I'm driving around. Here's pit. And is this also a set of pit
Or wait,
stalls over
1,
here?
2, 3, 4. Is this backwards? Yeah, this is backwards. Okay. So the exits are back where the fans aren't at. Okay, so that makes more sense.
Let me get a better
It's like
image.
an
Hold on.
inverted. I've seen that picture, but that's like inverted from what I've seen it. I mean, confused. I mean, really fucking confused. I looked at that. I was like, that doesn't look fucking right.
No. Let me find a different one. Yeah, these it's really hard to find a good image of this right now. All right, here we go. I don't know if I'm even allowed to use this, but I'm going to try. Uh-oh. All right, hold on. Let me move that off the screen. All right, so
Yeah, that's better.
I'm just taking a look here. Now, explain again. This side
so-
is the well, I'm trying to understand the two parts of the pit and why it makes that much of a
You got
difference.
it right. So coming off that backside, as far back as you can from the track, they come in there, and then they'll leave to the right, which is 4, or they'll come all the way back through it, and then go out that other side.
Oh, so some people have to go all the way around.
Yes, under caution, when you come in down there, you have to go all the way through it. But under a green flag, you can just come right back onto the track right there.
All right. Well,
Makes more
regardless,
sense.
what we know is it's better to have one. Eric Jones has it. Denny Hamlin said has also a very favorable track position.
Very good stall.
All right, there we go. Now, a couple of details. I want to know about carnage at this race. Now, this is the All-Star Race for NASCAR. What is that exactly?
Yeah, so the All-Star Race is just the top drivers in the year racing each other for $1 million. The whole shebang.
For $1 million. And what does
$1
second
million.
place get down?
I
Charles
actually don't remember off the top of my head.
taking down tournaments never got no swag, man. You gotta fucking rock the DFS Army avatar and let us know you won something.
Everybody wants to
do it.
bandana.
Gotta let us know. All right. So here we go. Carnage. Everybody needs first place or it's a bust. This isn't for cup points. Is that what you're telling me?
Pretty much.
So if I'm in like fourth place, am I and we're close to the end, am I balls to the walling it to try to get to first because I'm trying to get the millie?
I mean, do you want a millie?
Hell yeah, I want $1 million, dude.
So are you gonna bust balls for it?
Fucking Kyle Busch would be murdering people for $1 million, literally.
Fucking ain't right, he would.
Is that why he does well at this race? Who wins these All-Star races normally?
Well, normally it's at Charlotte, so it could be anybody like Kevin Harvick, it could be a Bowman, could be anybody that's good at those 1.5 miles like that. This is the first time it's back to Bristol. We're back to the short
Wow.
track, under the lights. Cars will have neon kits underneath them. They're going
Nice.
all out for this.
I love it. So the cars are going to be looking awesome, but they're going to be looking to kill or be killed,
Correct.
trying to get the million. So what that tells me is there's danger in chalk here. There's going to be carnage. How many crashes do we normally see in an all-star race?
So typically, not that many. Like I said, it was at Charlotte. Charlotte is not one of the more notorious caution tracks because you do have longer back stretches and whatnot for drafting and getting up to the front. So by that point, if you're in 5th place and you're 6-7 seconds behind the leader, you know you ain't fucking winning it. At Bristol, you're going to be right behind him. Much different environment. Either he's going to be smoking you coming off, like you're going to be 6 or 7 seconds behind and a whole half lap behind him and know you're done, or you're going to be right behind him. I'm more leaning towards that because there's going to be a bunch of the studs racing each other rather than some of these lappers being caught in traffic. So the last race, for example, at Bristol, there was 17 cautions. It took 102 laps of the race. So already without the $1 million thrown in there, this is a pretty carnage race. A fifth of it was under caution.
So dangerous because when you have these high caution and what we said about Bristol before, it's a half a mile track. Like you just like slip, tire, touch the wall, anything. You're down multiple laps. Boom, boom, boom. Laps are just fucking flying by. You're out there like, dude, change my tire, right? Like one pit, you're down what 2 laps if you didn't like how many laps down do you go for a green flag pit in a place like this?
Usually about 1.
Yeah, so
Pretty
you're
quickly. I mean, it's a pretty quick pit, but
I mean, but you're
usually
at
about
least
1.
down 1 lap and maybe more than 1 if it's anything more than just like the fastest thing ever. So
Yeah, but if it's a green flag pit, you're not too worried because they still have to pit cycle. Like everybody's gonna have to do the same thing you're doing. You're gonna get right back on that.
no,
lead
the
lap.
one that burns you is like the tire goes.
Yeah,
Or you get a
then you're in trouble.
penalty or something. And you know, something happens that puts you a lap behind and then, you know, that's the
And
that's how
with
the
everybody racing each other so hard, it is worth noting that if they're going to be door to door with each other, tire rubs will happen. Tires will go down. It's just
I
going
think
to
there's going to be
happen.
a lot of chalk explosions here. So the first takeaway that I'm getting from this is we don't. Oh, Charles has a funny question. I'm going to get to it in a second here, but we have to not go all in on any spot. So chalk is going to be very, very dangerous here. This is a place where people crash. This is where shit happens. You want to control your exposures. There's also only 20 cars in the race, which makes every single driver viable. I will have no situation where I don't want any exposure to someone. I think every car is going to be viable. I mean, maybe not Justin Haley. Who the fuck is Justin Haley?
100% viable, by the way.
Who is this guy?
100% viable.
I never heard of him.
He won last year at Daytona because Kurt Busch's team told him to come into pit because there was rain like 30 miles away from Daytona. The race was already official. They just had like 40 laps to go or something small. They wanted to finish it, of course. So Kurt Busch's team was like, hey, come get tires. We're going to win this fucking race. Justin Haley's team was like, dude, you're a 30th place car. We're staying the fuck out here. So he was in first.
I've heard that story.
And then the lightning struck. And they were just like, oh, shit. Justin Haley wins. So he gets to race at the All-Star race since he won the race.
He ain't winning shit.
He's not going to win shit. He's going to probably finish last place. But very interesting to note, he does have a Ganassi car. He will have a car much like Kurt Busch and Matt Kenseth will have.
I uncheck him, and you might get unfriended if you try to recommend him. Now, let me get to Charles' question here. How many drivers don't need the million? Bro, everybody needs the million. Everybody
Charles,
wants the million.
if you were in this car and you had, all the money in the world, you'd still be fighting for that fucking million. It's $1 million.
These guys are competitive. All right? Like, take how competitive you or I might be and multiply it by 100. A professional athlete's competitive nature is unlike anything else, right? They want to win. They don't care. The money makes it special, not because they need $1 million, because they want to win. But in reality, NASCAR drivers aren't like multi-millionaires like NBA players either. They're very happy to get $1 million. Can't defeat anyone in the race. I agree with you, King's Corner Store.
As Geek is fading somebody right now.
Adam Baker, you got to make $5,000 on a. You got to win at least $5K in a tournament to get a swag bag. And bro, I'm sending out swag bags like 3 or 4 a day. So, get one. Like they're
get on that KBO, get on that League of Legends, get on that NASCAR. We were fucking killing everything.
This weekend, 3 people tied for first place on FanDuel, each got like 29K. I'm like, dude, 3 fucking ties for first place in the NASCAR? It's crazy. That's 3 swag bags. Somebody won a swag bag in Australia. I was like, dude, I'm just giving you the money because I'm not sending no swag bag to Australia, not risking my life going to the post office. Okay? I know it's fucking Corona. I'm not going in a post office to certify some shit and fill out customs paperwork because somebody won a swag bag. Give him the cash value.
We'll tell him he'll get it afterwards.
You're like, hey, Geek, go fucking risk life and limb to send a swag bag to Australia. No, I'm not going in the post office. That's where the Rona lives. Okay? Why do some drivers have a Q tag? All right, here's the deal. And they're not in the DS because we don't know. This is the whole problem with this race. We don't know who the last 4 drivers are going to be until this race that happens before. There's basically a qualifier for the last 4 spots to get in. We don't know who those guys are. So even this DS right now that you see, we're going to have to delete it and re-upload a fresh one literally 30 minutes before the start of the race. So from
I don't think that's the plan, by the way. I think we're just going to add points in from the exclusions.
For
the people we know.
They did a genius. They're here on the excluded list. All right. See, that's why the team is smart as fuck.
I wanted to say that before we got too far ahead.
Yeah, that was a good call.
So all you got to do is just add like 20 points to somebody, and they're right back into the pool.
So here's what's going to happen. This is good to see. Christopher Bell is in. We're going to tell you. We'll probably do this manually also, but you probably have to do it. We'll probably do it in the back end, but you have to do it on the front end too. You're like, hey, Christopher Bell is in. What's the projection? 35 points. You type it in. Boom. In there. He's in there. Starting 0.
And the only thing that I can say about this is be careful if you guys are doing this, because if you decide that you want to just like adore Christopher Bell, his 35 points are going to go away and it's going to be like 16 points or something. It might actually end up being worse because it's projected 0.
No, if we put it in on the back end, that won't happen.
We put it in.
It won't once we change it on the back end. But when you do it, you can't be liking and adoring when you manually add a player in. Are they going to use the same cars on Sunday? I don't think so. Right? These are Cup drivers, so they'll have a different setup. All right? So let's jump into who's good at Bristol. We already know. Listen, it's a fucking crazy race. What we understand is there's going to be lots of carnage here. You've got your order of starting, and whenever you have carnage, it's always better to favor the guys who are starting further back. Obviously, Denny Hamlin and Eric Jones are spectacular plays just because of where they're starting. All of these guys, the further back you are, the better. Kyle Busch. You want place differential, although place differential isn't huge because it's just a few spots. Really, finishing position is going to be the key to it all. Essentially, you're going to want to have the drivers who are finishing the race 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. It's 4, whatever. I don't know for sure you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but you're going to need drivers who finish at the front, no matter what else goes on. So that's where driver rating is probably important. Here is from this website, mrn.com. I've got the average driver rating for Bristol for every driver. And obviously Kyle Busch is the number 1 driver. Every fucking race. All I hear is Kyle Busch is really good at this type of track. Is he not good at some kind? Is there some track that he's not good at?
There's actually a couple. There's actually a couple. And that would be Daytona, Talladega. Anything that's long as fuck, he sucks.
Anything that driver skill doesn't matter and it's all about
Correct.
getting lucky. Okay. But every other race,
there's fewer Toyotas. He sucks.
He's always the best at every track. And it's like, oh, high steep. Kyle Busch is really good at those.
Yes,
High
but
bank.
in
No matter what it is, it's always
particular-
Kyle Busch. But he is really good. All right.
In
Matt
particular,
Kenseth.
at Bristol.
Matt Kenseth, a very good Bristol driver. Interesting. Chase, Harvick, here's Jones. And driver rating is really important because basically it's the only thing we have to really measure who's good at a certain track. So, Eric Jones, Jimmy Johnson, Kurt Logano, all these guys, I mean, all your usual suspects. Here's what's more interesting. Martin Truex very bad at this type of track.
Yeah, it's not that he's bad. It's that Bristol is just like he's really. Can you scroll up real quick for me? I want to see what this 100-something driver rating column is. So scroll up real quick. Oh, it's his highest one. Okay, so yeah, so he's really good at short tracks, but Bristol is the one that always throws fits. So he's really good at like Martinsville, Phoenix, stuff like that. That's not like this high steep. Like these steep banks really kill Truex because he likes to run those high lines. It's just not the preferred line really at Bristol.
Okay. All right. So Bristol, Bristol in particular, what I'm looking for are guys who seem out of order. Like, Alex Bowman, who's normally a pretty good driver. He's got a pretty bad rating here, all things considered. Not sure if that's the guy I necessarily want, even though he's starting pretty far forward. So a little concern there for Bowman. Although usually the story with Bowman is he's in better equipment now than he ever was. So maybe
he's just racing out of his fucking mind right now.
Yeah,
but
been
this
really
is
good.
not the track for him. What was it there for? Yeah, last race here he had started like 5th or 6th or something last race, and then immediately fell back on the restart. Like I think he started 4th. I think he got up a 2nd and then just fell back.
He's just
and then
like
halfway through he just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna hit these people in this backstretch." Started this huge wreck and just sucked, and he's just never been good here.
He seems like 1.5 mile guy. Like that's and then you get all the turds down here. Nothing to see. Although Michael McDowell this poor is telling. He's a guy that has been really good for us in a lot of races. So Matt DiBenedetto,
he's also not racing yet.
What's that?
Keep in mind, there's only half the field.
Yeah, we don't know who the actual drivers are going to be. So that brings us back to our actual starting lineup that we know. So again, we just pointed out that Truex, not that great here.
Not great, not terrible, not great.
Very dangerous to play the pole sitter. Alex Bowman, even worse. Starting 2nd, lots of downside. Don't like it. Then we get to somebody pretty good here. Ryan Blaney, he's been just incredible this year. Haley, I uncheck you. He's unchecked.
But here's the thing with Haley.
I unfriended him.
Even if he finishes dead last, he's getting 8 points. You literally cannot get 0 out of him. And he's literally the cheapest driver on DraftKings.
I don't care.
He's in the fucking race and he's the cheapest driver.
I don't care.
He's
already been unfriended. Gone. You can't undo that. That's not something you can undo. No, you can't undo it.
I'm playing him because everybody's going to be like you. Everybody's going to say, fuck that. I don't want Haley. And he's getting a good car, starting 4th. And he's literally can't get negative points.
No, it's too late. He's been unfriended. Kevin Harvick, he's gone. He's gone. Kevin Harvick. Motherfucker, the only reason he's here is because he miracle lucked into a win. Get out of here, Justin Haley. All right.
Now Kevin Harvick.
Kevin Harvick's good at this track. He has a chance to move up and dominate. This is where you want to start getting guys. Kenseth, very good at the track, very cheap. I wonder if Super Draft is running a contest for this thing because my man Matt Kenseth is always my Super Draft guy.
Yeah, but the thing with Kenseth is that website you looked at, if you've seen the date range, it said from 2005. So that was back whenever he was a stud. He's not really been studly.
Maybe we'll get it. Maybe we'll get a research. Maybe we'll get a research station.
He's honestly probably my least favorite driver on the slate, outside of like a Haley or something.
Not a fan of Kenseth.
They're pretty comparable.
Oh wow. Okay.
I don't really like him.
Not a fan of Kenseth. Although, if he somehow miracles his way into finishing where he's...
You literally can't fade anybody here. It's 20 drivers.
No fade. Well, Haley you can fade, but no one else.
Here we go again.
There's not. I'm fading him. All right.
That's
Cole
fair.
Custer.
I mean, it's not like he's good.
All right. Let's see the good drivers. So it seems like you have a lot of talent. Man, I don't even know how you run this fucking thing. You're making 150 lineups, and you just have to and then the 4 guys who are coming at the end, we don't even know. They'll be the best plays of them all. A, because they will have just won an actual race here. So their car has to be driving pretty well, and they're going to be starting really far back. SD is running content. There we go. See, Adam, Super Draft, they don't even know they don't know. It's an all-star race. So those extra drivers, I'm going to be curious to see how that part works. And if we're even able to churn out enough lineups over there with the 30 minutes to go that we'll have to actually make lineups between when all the qualifyings happen, the fan vote for the favorite comes in, and the start of this actual race. That's going to be crazy. Watch, Haley would be busting because I play him. Wait, you're playing Haley? I just said I unfriended him. He's gone. Don't listen to Auburn. Listen to me.
I don't have a fucking bandana on. Just saying.
He never even won swag. You want to listen to me? All right. Of course he's going to win, and everybody's going to be in my DMs, sliding in my DMs. Fucking told me.
That or everybody's going to go fucking overboard on him because I don't hate him.
Oh, stop.
And then he's going to suck ass.
All right. So when you run 150 and you don't do anything, you're going to get 100% Eric Jones. But here's the deal. We love Eric Jones, but you can't have that much of any one driver. You gotta limit that shit. I love Denny Hamlin. Dude never gets into accident. Well, I almost want to go higher, but I don't like it. Now you start to get names like Martin Truex Jr. I don't want 54% Martin Truex Jr. starting on the pole. I'll get some exposure, but maybe 10%. You know what I mean? Look at all these very close together numbers. And you start to set up your exposures because you just don't know.
Yeah, so someone that is really popping up right here that I will honestly probably be closer to highest owned outside of somebody like Eric Jones is going to be Brad Keselowski. And that's because of this thing called the choice rule. Brad Keselowski in the last 10 races since COVID shit has started, right, has finished in the lead lap 10 times. And he always seems to be that fucking vulture there at the end. So it's 140 laps. So it's not like we don't need that solo, we need a solo dominator, sure. We'll get to that in a second, King. So
yeah, we covered that. Actually, you got to just go back. We talked about it.
Okay, so
he
King
lucked into it. Yeah, he lucked into it.
With Haley, yeah, he lucked into it. Daytona last year, his team said, stay out there because you're a 30th place card. He was in second. Kurt Busch's team said, come get tires so we can win this fucking thing. Lightning struck at Daytona. They called the race because it was 30 laps to go. Haley wins. Haley's here. That's exactly what happened. Spire Motorsports, first ever fucking win. That was his first ever Cup Series start too. His first ever race, won at Daytona.
If it's gonna rain, then we reconsider it. He's
Correct.
good with the rain. He's a mutter. He's a mutter of drivers. He's considered a mutter. All right. So Keselowski, you say, does a good job of staying in the game, being around at the end. He's really good at that. 10 all-star races. He's been in the lead lap on all of them.
Yes.
It's funny that you mentioned that again. I want
no, not 10 all-star races. Just the last 10 races, period.
Oh, okay. So he's just been doing a good job.
He's the only active driver that has finished on the lead lap 10 times.
Dude, I'm going to be ready to rock with 30. So here's what you do. Let's talk about the functional of what you actually do, because I actually think what I'm going to do is cascade my ownership across 20, 19, 18. I'm going to go and I'm telling you guys what I'm going to do. It's going to look like this. I'm going to basically sort the DOM, and I'm going to have the most ownership for 20, and then I'm going to cascade my way down, lowering my ownership across the board as we get closer to the front. That's pretty much my entire strategy here. Worrying less about who the driver is and just assuming there will be chaos, and that these drivers in the back, whoever survives, will be some of the best scorers just because they moved up the furthest. That's literally my plan, because you don't have a lot of time with 30 minutes to do this, but you have to reserve the entries well in advance. or it's not going to work out. So what I'm going to do is like basically run 150 or 20, whatever you want to do. Put it in whatever contest I want to enter. And then when we find out who the final 4 drivers are, rerun the whole thing, do a quick edit, get lots of exposure to those back guys, because I think there's going to be a lot of people who don't have access to the domination station, are handcrafting. A lot of people, not everybody's part of a group. Not everybody has the tools that we have. So there'll be a lot of lineups that kind of don't have any of those back guys. There'll be even more that do, because a lot of people do have the optimizer, but if you don't have it, you can't really, there's no way you can hammer out a lot of lineups in 30 minutes. It's just not doable. So you said Keselowski. Anybody else like good at this type of track? Like, how's Newman? Is he good at Bristol?
Newman is good at not getting past, but Newman doesn't have a track that he's like the stud at. Like, besides like Talladega, he's pretty good at, but he's just really good at not getting past, but he's not good at passing. So Newman has, like, he'll be at 11th. He'll probably finish like 12th, 13th.
Which driver has great pit strategy / pit team that has the ability in this type of track to like strategize their way to the front?
That's what I was trying to get at with Keselowski. So with this choice rule, I'll explain that real quick. Bristol's All-Star Race is doing something that NASCAR has always had as a rule, but they stopped using for whatever fucking reason, because I love it. So there's going to be this little cone by the track. And right then, people will be able to choose what line they restart on. So historically, it's always been, like, for what we've known for the past years, Martin Truex is like 38, 39 years old. He's up there for a NASCAR driver. He's never had this rule. So just think about it for how long he's been in the Cup Series and shit. So anyway, what's going to happen is, like, the lead driver is going to have the first choice of where he starts. So he's probably going to choose the bottom, because most people choose the bottom at Bristol. But both lines are great at Bristol. You can go bottom or you can go middle. Both are pretty good. So what's going to happen is second place does not have to start on the outside. He can choose to go to the bottom if he wants to as well. So when that happens, the third place driver can choose to go up to the outside of the first place driver and try the outside line if he wants, or he can slot in behind the second place driver. And the fourth place can go to the second place or whatever. They get to choose where they start.
I have a feeling that unless one of the lines is really poor, which can be, and that's a really cool rule. That should be the rule of NASCAR, by the way.
Agreed.
For every track. I don't know why they're trying to hear. That should be the rule. Shit. That's like my fantasy football league rule. Hold up. I'm going to fucking relate some fantasy football right now. Every fantasy football league should have the rule that the most points gets 6th place, like that last playoff spot. But the second rule is that the top seed gets to choose their opponent. These are rules that you should have in your fantasy football league. It's not fair if you finished 3rd place and some team that was crushing in points but just got unlucky with wins and losses gets 6th place, and then they smash you in the first round of the playoffs. What was good about finishing in 3rd? I got the best team, the highest points. Got to choose your opponent. Every race should have the same shit, because I've seen a lot of these tracks where second place, they get the outside, like where that one lane is really, really bad. Second place gets that lane, and it's like, dude, why did I finish in second? It didn't even help me. Now I'm stuck on the outside. Next thing you know, he's dropping right back to 5th, 6th before they can get their way in to the single file line. So that, NASCAR, if you're listening, and fantasy football people, commissioners, if you're listening, those 2 rules I just talked about, please adopt them always. There's never, I won't league if it's not the rule. Now,
worth noting, NASCAR did say if the fans love it, they will use it next year. They will not use it for the rest of 2020, but they will.
This shit should be done on Daytona. The one where, like, if you start on the outside, you're dead. Like,
at Daytona?
Track. Charlotte, I don't know. Where were they last week? Kentucky?
Yeah, Kentucky was the last one.
It was like there's only one, no passing, and everybody single file. That one lane.
At Daytona, you want to be on the outside.
Well, I'm saying you choose, right? I want to be on the outside. I think every driver should choose.
It's going to be in next year. Everybody's going to love it.
Is it possible that Ryan Blaney like quickly kind of overtakes these guys and finds his way to the front, or maybe even a Kevin Harvick? And
It's going
how
to depend on the choice where they go.
is this a track where the lead, the pole sitter tends to lead for a long period of time?
Typically, yeah, the clean air is pretty good, but I do worry a little bit with Martin Truex just because his restarts have been fucking atrocious since COVID has started. And we already know this isn't like the track that he dominates particularly at.
And he's in a
But
horrible spot.
He's one of the best short tracks, if not the best short track driver in NASCAR. This has just been the one short track that has always never been kind to him. So,
yeah, I think there's something more to it, but he's also got a very bad pit stall, from what you said.
so he doesn't have the greatest pit stall. He's right in the middle.
Right in the middle. Man, what else can
It's
you
not
tell us
horrendous,
about?
It's not great.
What else can you tell us about this track before we kind of wait to get all of the research station and all the drivers and everything out there for everyone?
Well, I'll go back to the point that I was making originally about this choice rule. There's really no way we can use it like per DFS purposes per se, because that's going to be basically saying like, we're predicting who's going to be starting second, third on the restart and shit. I'm going to be more using it as a late game thing. So if I'll just be basing it off the fact that what if there is no carnage and these 20 drivers are still in it because they're respecting each other for the million, like some stupid bullshit we can make up. There's going to be carnage, but just imagine all these guys are still there. Then most likely somebody like a Brad Keselowski. I think Logano is going to be up there. Logano was really good at Bristol last time. We didn't talk about him yet, but we'll get to him, I'm sure. Somebody like Logano, Keselowski, Blaney, Busch, those guys with great crews, they'll know where to fucking restart. That restart is going to be huge for those guys at the end. So guys that have not been good restarters are who I'm really wary about. So Truex, Bowman, those guys that have not had a solid restart.
They're the most risky.
Yep.
This is going to be a fun race.
Playable though, because he is on the pole. He has a good shot at the lead laps to start. But I do like somebody like Blaney slightly more personally. Blaney just looked that fucking good at Bristol last time. He's been so good since COVID started.
Taking a look at the win odds. Harvick is by far the biggest favorite, and it's not even close. He's got 5.5x, 5-1 essentially win odds. You got Hamlin and Elliott at 7-1. Busch, Logano. I mean, this tells the tale right here. Busch, Logano. Whenever you have a pole sitter and they're sitting at 9-1, it's not the best sign. From there, Blaney, and it goes down from there. So Bowman, for example, starting second, 21-1 odds. I mean, if you think this guy can hang around and win this thing, you probably want to take the 21x bet on your money. When you see a driver that's 81 to 80,
I'm just saying. He's the cheapest fucking driver on the slate. He's actually in the race, and he literally can't get negative points. I don't know what's wrong with this situation.
No. Everybody can't get negative points. Getting a 7 is it's as much as negative. No one can get negative points. No one can.
Literally,
no one.
Can.
Everybody's going to score at least like 20 points. Cole Custer is a better play. So, yeah, you look at the win odds. This tells you who's good. This is interesting. If you want to make a bet, 23-1, Eric Jones. I like that.
Yeah, that's stupid. He should be much higher than that.
Yeah, I like that for a bet. So let's wrap it up there. There's only so much we could really talk about. 20 cars, lots of carnage. I'm going to treat this personally like I do Daytona, where I'm going to kind of ignore the names, and I'm going to do my best to just keep ownerships low. I mean, we can't quite do this. Don't ever do this. You can't set exposure. Downstation just won't run like that. But you probably run it like that. But you could do something like that and just get crazy exposures across all of these guys and do it blind. I'm not going to do that. I don't recommend it. But I do recommend cascading your ownership to where, again, when you're set up your starting order. So how am I going to set the Dom? I haven't done it yet, but I'm basically going to, I'm going to cascade it to where my highest ownership is the 4 that are going to be added in. These guys, Hamlin and Jones, and just lower as we get up to this first group. I might only have 10 or 5% Truex, You know, I'll probably uncheck you, unfriend him. You know, like these two, I'm unfriending. Beyond maybe Kenseth because you say he sucks here. Beyond that, I think it's just boom.
Yeah, a couple things real quick. Kenseth does not suck here. You've seen his rating, but his rating is from 2005. He's just sucked since COVID has come back, but he's never sucked here. He's always been fairly solid here.
Didn't he have a great race yesterday or on Sunday?
He had a pretty good race, yeah.
I thought he finished pretty well. No, I know he's old and whatever.
Another thing, real quick. Justin Haley. Let me get to my boy real quick. I'm not saying that I love him. I'm saying I'm going to cap him at like 15%. This is a fucking carnage race. This dude can't get negative, and he's going to allow me to get like Kyle Busch, Harvick, and those guys together. I don't see the shitty situation here. That there is carnage, and he survives it. With he's going to have the Ganassi type of car, for starters. It's not going to be the shit car we're used to seeing with him. I just think that's a little bit of a steal. But I'm only going to cap him at like 10%. I'm not going to go fucking crazy because he is probably going to get last.
Why can't you just play Cole Custer instead? I mean, that's the part that's getting me.
You can literally play everybody.
Price, and he's good.
I'm just trying to tell you to check that and put it at like 10%. Don't fade him. It's a fucking $5,200 free square.
1%.
He literally can't get negative. If he was starting 20th out of 40 cars,
realistically,
you uncheck him.
You don't know who's being added into the pool, but these excluded players, they're pretty cheap. So like Bubba's coming back. You'll probably get Christopher Bell in here for 7,400. I think when you have these drivers that get added in, the 4 that get added in, you probably get Austin Dillon going. When you get these 4 added in, those are going to be the highest, borderline the highest exposures that you're even going to want. So we don't even know who we're going to be loading up on the most. I think the most important thing here, this is like breaking down a fucking Daytona race. It's crazy because you don't know what's going to happen. There's going to be accidents. There's going to be carnage. It's a tiny race, and everybody wants first place or bust. There's no points for second. There's no cup points. It's just win or go home. Kyle Busch will murder people for $1 million. Like, if he's not in first place, he'll fucking go a lap behind, take out the lap leader, get the caution, move. He's trying to make $1 million. So that's the key. All right, I'm going to wrap it up there. This was an unusual sway bar because the lack of sort of really knowing all of the possible drivers is kind of weird. But more important to understand this race, understand what we got to do. Half an hour tomorrow. Be ready. Reserve your entries. David's trying to have me be the mush and then take all the advantage.
It's 20 drivers. He's the cheapest guy. You can't fade that.
I'm the mush now. I'm like, I faded him. It could be. All right, guys who are watching right now, this is very, very important. Non-NASCAR related. The FTP kill shot for MMA is out and live and available to be watched currently. Tomorrow, there's also an MMA slate, Fight Island, Abu Dhabi. So lots of DFS action tomorrow. Go check that out as well. I love this slate for MMA. I'm really excited about this slate. I need to check the timing because I got MMA coming. What time does this go off?
7:30 tomorrow.
That's good. All right. We're going to be watching our MMA. We're going to be finishing up our lineups. So this, little staggered start time. That's really helpful. So really exciting day for MMA and NASCAR tomorrow. Let's see those helmets up top. Helmets here. Helmets there. Helmets first place, second place, everywhere. Auburn, any final thoughts?
I'm trying to get a fucking bandana tomorrow.
You got to win a fucking bandana. You don't just get a bandana. You got to win it.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to get a fucking bandana tomorrow.
Good luck, everyone. Let's see those helmets.
Yeah, 8:30. I'm Central. So.
8:30. Even better. Even better. I'll be tilting from having lost, a couple of matchups in MMA. I'll be like on full tilt, going all in. NASCAR, that's classic. So we'll see you tomorrow.
Look at you,
What's that?
I'm fucking looking at you, Uzdemir.
Fucking Vulcan. Cost me a lot of money. All right. And Davey Grant. All right, let's do this. Next, see you tomorrow, guys. Helmets up. See you at the
Helmets
leaderboard.
Fuck up.
Got the best coaches in the game. We really ain't playing. We regroup up in the Slack chat where the coaches debrief. We be piecing these puzzles, occupy the chunk of the pie. Ain't no lie when we hit the block. Helmets casket is top. You be seeing helmet after helmet, helmet after helmet. First place, second place, fifth place, eighth place, 12th place, 15, 16, 20. So many helmets, you got blurred vision. We got too many. Tick. Oh man, shit. They got us fucked up. Army.